Hi guys, my name's Lily Nova and welcome back to my channel. So it's been a really interesting last week. Crazy, lots going on. And I've received pages upon pages of information and messages from the Alliance over the last week. Some of these things since January or December 2nd, really, I haven't had time to make a video. So I'm going to kind of compile the main points of what I'm getting. And some of the topics that I'm going to cover are the uptick in UFO sightings, some disclosure that is incoming having to do with the pandemic, and also timelines and some other fun things that the Alliance has shared with me. And again, the Alliance is a combination of positive humans and ETs working together for the ascension of the planet, the good guys, if you will. Before we get started, I also want to share that I do have a 6-week mentorship program that teaches you how to make contact with your star family, your guides, and teaches you ascension protocols to assist you on your journey. And that is starting in January. So it's going to be a really small group program. And we do weekly calls, and there's also unlimited direct messaging support with me during the process of this program. So really transformative. So if you would like to sign up for that, there's a link in the video description. Okay, now let's go ahead and get started on some of these messages. So on December 2nd, and I'm going to just read from my notes. So that's what I'll be doing if I'm looking down. Okay. I was hearing about some sort of a potential black swan event. In a black swan event, I wasn't even really too familiar with that terminology. Looking it up, it's basically a big event that happens that could have really big consequences. Not to make it sound like it's anything scary, okay? This is 5D chess, and the positive factions are ahead in all of this. We are on the golden timeline, but there may be some sort of huge event that is going to happen. And they were referring to this as the Black Delilah. Now, I've been hearing the Black Delilah and Black Swan event for the last about week and a half, actually. And they use the term event horizon, which means it's like a point where there's no going back. I had to look that up also. Then they said showcasing the results, what we've been working on. I said, Black Swan, is it coming? They said, it's already here behind the scenes. Victory will be ours. Military personnel exposed. So this is also positive military that are working towards this. UFOs, fake. And again, this is on December 2nd, before all of this, literally right before all of this started coming up in the news. My mind was blown. I'm like, man, I wish I would have had time to make this video before all of this started happening. So fake UFO sightings, and then there's more to that, like I'll explain. I got more information. This is just starting back on December 2nd. There will be an event that will change history. And then they were kind of notioning towards like a World War III, but it's not going to work. It will bring us closer together. Cabal, deep state exposed. So not World War III is not going to happen, but you can see that they've been kind of trying to scare people about this. On Biden's on his way out, he's been trying to push the buttons and escalate things, but it's not going to work. Okay, so do not feed into the fear. It's just going to bring us closer together, and it will be exposed. Retribution will be ours. This is the golden timeline. Censorship-free X. JFK, Diddy, Marilyn Monroe, Epstein, disclosure coming, exposed, truth revealed, future proves past. Showrunner. And then I saw the sun. They're going to try to cover it up, they said. Weather modification. It poses a threat, the sun. Why? Because it will help people see past illusion. Events happening soon, Judgment Day. Now, we've also had a lot of solar activity, a huge X-class flare just a couple of days ago, and that is rapidly upgrading our DNA and helping to dissolve this 3D matrix and dissolve the illusion. So you can see like all the chemtrails and all of that they're putting out, trying to cover up the sun. And I remember whenever I first heard about that, I even thought, well, that kind of sounds a little conspiracy theory, but no, that's absolutely what they're doing. So whenever the sun is shining, get as much of it as you can. And of course, RFK Jr. is already talking about one of the number one things that he's going to do come January, whenever T gets sworn in, is going to be working on banning the chemtrails. Okay. Meditative practice, rejuvenation. People are going to see the truth. Masks off, justice. So that means the people who have been working towards the dark agenda, the cabal, the dark reptilians, all of that, their masks are going to be coming off. Okay. And people are going to start seeing them for who they truly are. They're starting to get sloppy. It's starting to become so blatantly obvious. An example of this: Biden recently pardoning his son. Okay. After he said multiple times that he would never pardon his son and nobody is above the law. That just happened this last week. So he's starting to show his true colors, as well as trying to escalate the war with Ukraine and Russia. And then there was one other thing. Oh yeah, what happened with the pandemic? He's trying to pre-pardon people involved with big pharma. Pre-pardon. Has that even ever been done before? So, like I said, masks coming off. And people may actually start like having heightened psychic abilities. I know I've been having heightened psychic abilities, heightened telepathy, and seeing more things, seeing more through the veil into these higher dimensions, seeing beings out of the corner of your eye. You may start to seeing like these light flashes or sparkles. You're just going to start seeing things. And so people might actually begin to see some of these beings who are walking around masquerading as human, but they're really not human. It's think of the movie They Live. Great movie. Great documentary from the 80s, I believe. Okay, justice, retribution. In accordance with the law, I see in court. So I'm seeing in court, Mar-a-Lago. False documents. And then I see Trump in court. Proof, they said, that sets him free. Statutes of limitations is what they said. And I actually don't even know what that means. He's going to sue, and I was sensing he's going to sue the F out of them for falsifying documents. So, Mar-a-Lago got raided, so I'm thinking this has to do with that. Like the whole thing was like a setup, or there's some sort of a falsifying documents is literally what they said, falsifying documents, and it sounds like they're going to get caught for that. Claim to throne, the royals. I was picking up, I heard Brooklyn, New York, peace treaty, Ukraine and Russia. T will bargain a peace treaty with Ukraine and Russia. And we're already starting to see that. Again, I got these messages on the 2nd. False leaders showing true colors. Witness testimony. Vital. UAPs. Witness testimonies. So we're going to start seeing a huge uptake in whistleblowers. A huge uptick in whistleblowers. And it's going to be incredibly important to the shift and to disclosure. And even the digital warriors, us sharing our stories, blowing the whistle on that, is going to be incredibly, well, they said vital. That was the words that they were using. And we're going to see more and more and more and more coming out. Digital format. So even internet testimonies. People are going to start searching for answers, turning to the internet for answers. Great impact, these witness testimonies. I saw a black triangle, advanced technologies, government conspiracies, abductions, government abductions, negative military abductions, my lab abductions, corrupt, classified documents. And then I saw a man in office signing a bill, retribution, justice exposed, uncovering the truth. Justice League. The dark can't do this for much longer. We've got them at the end of their rope. Okay, moving on. Then the Andromedan Council came in and they said the artifact found. They were notioning towards an artifact. And I keep hearing the Ark of the Covenant. And that's very, very important. I believe that's going to be coming to the surface. And yeah, they've been hinting at that. This very, very important artifact, this ancient technology. Black cube, Saturn's rings falling. So Saturn's rings, I just started seeing this, but Saturn's rings are apparently an ancient technology that essentially keeps the planet enslaved and corrupted, kind of inverts everything, the polarity with light and dark, and creates this matrix and artificially keeps us in that. The rings of Saturn and these black cubes, some sort of a dark technology. So that is starting to dissolve, is what I've been seeing. And I've never seen this sort of thing before. This information just started coming to me just recently. And I've seen it multiple times that this technology artificially keeping us down in this control enslavement mechanism is beginning to dissolve. And I heard the Black Delilah again, Mar-a-Lago. Really, really need to remote view Mar-a-Lago because that keeps coming up. UFOs over U.S. Capitol. This is December 3rd. UFOs over U.S. Capitol. Bigger deal than you think. And I was getting that it was like a fake intelligence agency mind control scare tactic trying to sway public perception. Their last ditch effort. More on this comes up. On 12/4, I woke up at 6:45 a.m. It's happening right now. What a day to remember. Congressional hearings. Conspiracy. And then I saw a boomerang, like a boomerang being shot out, and then it comes back and it smacks them in the face, whatever they are trying to pull. Congressional hearings. And then I heard Operation Warp Speed. Now, I didn't know what that was at first, but that Operation Warp Speed is basically whenever the pandemic hit and Trump was in office, Operation Warp Speed was to hurry up and get out a remedy, if you will, like super quickly. And there's a lot of debate over that, the intentions of that. Now, what the Alliance said about Operation Warp Speed, whoever got that in the beginning, it was non-threatening, safe. Trump did this to protect his people, and I heard saline solution. So a lot of those weren't even really those. It was just saline solution. And then I asked about the boosters because my mother got a booster and they replied, she is fine. She carries this gene, omnipotent. It protects her. So yeah, her body was able to fight off that. And I think that is the case with a lot of us. Our body is able to, for those who may have gotten that, to cleanse and clear. And there's also detox protocols that you can do. So if you want to look into that further, but I thought that was really interesting that information came through. And I'm going to share something with you real quick now. Now, congressional hearings. So I looked up congressional hearings on this date, and that was 12/4, to see what was going on that day. Sure enough, at 10:30 a.m., there was a meeting for a select subcommittee on the coronavirus pandemic to consider the following. 1, report on after-action review of the COVID-19 pandemic, the lessons learned, and a path forward. So something instrumental happened this day that is creating a ripple effect, and we're going to see a lot of disclosure starting to come forward, a lot of truth starting to come forward around this whole thing. Now, since I got these messages, more has come up about this that I would like to share with you. Let's see. This, I just saw this the other day. Uh, Nurse who up to 8,600 elderly patients with salt water walks free. Wow. Um, Here's another one. More and more people, doctors coming forward, whistleblowers. And then this. I got more information on this. So that is Fauci. So that's obviously corrupt, right? Like he knew what was going to happen and he's trying to prevent it, trying to fight the truth from coming out or trying to protect these cabal members. Interesting. Okay. So let's see. What's happening today? Congressional hearings. This again, 12-4. Battle begins. I see the White House. Stage threat. Illuminati ploy. Also deceptive. They want you to look over here while they're doing something else over there. And then they also mentioned a marketing ploy. They want you to revolt. And then I was sensing like finances. There's going to be some sort of a event with finances. And they basically want you to feed into whatever it is and loose your fear. So throughout all of this, do not be fearful, okay? We're seeing through the illusion, okay? And then I heard the word cash grab. So interestingly enough, XRP, which I've been covering lately, because the star beings and spirit has been guiding me about XRP. And I do have, if you go into the lives tab on my channel, I have a whole live interview with Jace and Rion about the financial system and what's coming. And we really deep dive into XRP. And there was an interview on 60 Minutes that really apparently was cut up and they edited it in a way to make it look really, really bad, to put fear into people and to try and kind of crash the market. But really, it's an opportunity. And the XRP did go down since that aired, but really, it's an opportunity. They're just trying to sway you away from it because that is the future. XRP is the future. Part of it. And part of this wealth transfer. Not the only key to it, but part of it. Okay, so yeah, some deceptive tactics that they're doing. They also said important dates incoming. Judicial branch, new bills being signed, put into place, freedom, sovereignty, and then I saw a bald eagle. Ark of the Covenant incoming. Things coming to the surface about COVID, incoming, detrimental, important, Pfizer, deceit, cash grab, pharmaceutical companies, big pharma, exposed, fight, battle in legal system, conglomerate, Dr. Fauci, fraud, deception, perpetual sickness and illness. So these pharmaceutical companies and big pharma tycoons like Fauci, they're going to be exposed. Truth is starting to come out. Whistleblowers are starting to come out, and we're going to be seeing an uptick of this being exposed. And then basically, the pharmaceutical and the health industry perpetuating this sickness and illness to keep you sick. You guys know what I'm talking about. To keep you sick, to keep you dependent on medications instead of addressing the root problems. And they attack the food, the air, all of it with the technology and towers, 5G towers, all of it. A bill being passed that will bring Fauci to justice. Chain reaction. A good chain reaction. Justice League. The congressional hearings happening today will greatly impact the future. Chain reaction, truth, justice. And that was on December 4th. Saturn's rings. I got more of that. I see a vision of a great light, tunnel of light opening. The negative AI holding up the false matrix, black cube technology. And I heard the word implant, falling, being wiped out, dismantling the matrix. Solar Warden is addressing this issue. And then I heard stem cell research. Now I looked up, whenever I Googled stem cell research, on Google it says potential for abuse. Concerns about the potential misuse of stem cell technology to create human clones. Interesting. So, do we have some disclosure on how they actually have been cloning people coming up? Do we have some whistleblowers on that coming up? Because that's what they've been doing for years and years and years. Celebrities, politicians, super soldiers, abducting people, cloning them. So interesting that they brought that up. Then I heard Black League, Positive Military Faction, Orion Council of Light, Guardian Alliance. And that white wormhole of light that I saw coming in. It's like I heard like time matrix, portal, like this just, we're getting blasted with light, these white wormholes of light opening up. So this is happening on, not just on Earth, but a very cosmic scale. And I got more on that I will get to. Let's see, what's next? Federal Reserve. I saw this Federal Reserve stolen large sums of money in gold and silver. So this is being taken back. Okay. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. And on December 7th, I woke up suddenly at around 4:50 a.m. and I heard timeline jump, succeeded, fresh start. Mass sightings will occur. I saw all sorts of different ETs. Landings coming. They're already among you. I was seeing ETs, feline lyrans. I was seeing different types of reptoids. I was seeing Tau Ceti beings, Alpha Centaurian beings, of course, Pleiadian beings. They are already among us. These almond eyes I saw. And mass sightings will occur. Directed energy weapons disclosed. So, and I asked again just for confirmation. Directed energy weapons disclosed, which is what happened with like Lahaina and other instances. That's a big one. They said yes, that is correct. Direct contact, they said, and then they mentioned ECETI Stargate, which is James Gilliland. He owns ECETI Stargate up in Washington. I went there over summer. Has like ley lines there. They got ships all the time going on there. So they specifically mentioned that. And they said contact will occur at predetermined locations. And then they said on live television. And I asked what year. And I saw it happening all over the world. I was sensing 2027. I mean, it's happening. It's already happening. But this is like the next step of direct contact, like more direct contact. And they were saying like it'll happen, eventually happen on like live television and at all of these predetermined locations all over the world. Whenever I asked what year, initially I was sensing like 2027 or possibly 2032. And they said, you've got some growing to do as a species first. So we have to knock out this corruption, get the cabal out of here. And then more of this direct contact can take place safely. Also, Talia, my Andromedan Council star family, a few years back, I asked her, when can I be like, when will you guys be face to face, boots on the ground with us? And she said in the 2030s, sometime in the 2030s. So openly in the 2030s, we will have, you know, extraterrestrials among us, but they're already here, really. And contact is happening on a very personal level with many starseeds and many people all over the world, and that's going to continue going up. We're having more positive, real sightings, tons of UFO sightings and contacts are happening right now. But then we also have a combination of these false flag kind of staged military fake ships as well. And I'll get more into that in a second. Continuing down with my messages, false prophets revealed. Okay, so false prophets, people that do not have good agendas and who may be lying or doing something deceptive, acting good, pretending, being revealed. Magdalene bloodlines, heir to the throne. I heard State of the Union, Gettysburg Address, time travel involved. And then I asked, who am I speaking to? Alpha Centauri. So the Alpha Centaurians have been coming up a lot for me the last couple of weeks. And in one of my other recent updates and videos, they said that Alpha Centauri, we will discover life there openly, that will be disclosed. That will be one of the first places where we discover life. And I believe one of the first beings we may have open contact with, beings from Alpha Centauri. I asked them, the Alpha Centaurians, are you involved in the time travel program? They said collaborative effort. Time runners working overtime right now. Bleed through on a massive scale. Juxtapose. So we've got these different timelines that have been going on, right? This has been a timeline war, a temporal war. And CERN has been involved with opening up these dimensions, these portals, these timelines, trying to push us on a negative timeline. And like I've said in some of my other videos, I see these as kind of like time bubbles or like pocket realities. And then the golden timeline, the ascension timeline, the highest timeline, they use the word it has been dilating. And I actually got a deep dive in my contact session a couple of nights ago, really, and I asked them to really explain and show me how all of that works. So I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, basically, this has been a timeline war, and that's why the mandala effect, there's so many mandala effects, because those are kind of like bleed throughs from these other timelines, and like the positive and negative kind of having a race to try and make the predominant, the most dominant timeline. The positive wanting to put us on the positive timeline, and then the negative trying to steer us and change things and put us into a negative timeline where they have control. And there's time travel involved, time travelers, and I want to do a whole live on that to really deep dive into that, because I've been seeing a lot of these time runner people who are like actively working on the timelines and jumping through different timelines and changing things. Time travel has been around and happening on Earth for a long time. For a long time. So that's basically how this war has been waged, through this time travel and timeline technology. And the Andromedan Council got involved because they had this timeline technology that allowed them, through like mathematical quantum equations, to see the timeline, to see the future, to predict things. And they said, oh no, this isn't looking good. We need to go back and we need to change some things. So that's why Earth is so important, and what's happening on Earth is so incredibly important right now. Because if we would have continued going down this dark path, it literally would have spread throughout the galaxy, universe. So yeah, lots of that going on. Let me see what else. That was some kind of personal things. So they were saying bleed through on a massive scale. And as these other kind of pocket realities or other timelines that have been created are collapsing, some of our soul light and soul aspects are returning to us. I explained this on a recent live stream that at least 3 times I've seen just an incredibly bright flash of light as I was trying to go to sleep. And it was soul aspects of myself that had been fragmented, which can happen through trauma, even through like cloning or secret space programs and putting you in these other timelines. It fragments our soul, it fragments our light, and we are becoming whole again, essentially. Becoming whole encompassing more of our soul light and ascending, dilating this ascension timeline, this golden timeline. And whenever aspects of your lost light, fragmented aspects, return to you, you may experience bleed through from these other timelines. This week, I've actually had memories from these other timelines, emotions from these other timelines that I've had to heal and reintegrate, trauma from these other timelines. So you may be experiencing that heightened anxiety, depression, sleeplessness, or energy, strange dreams. So if you are experiencing some of those symptoms, just know that's what it is. Okay, as we are healing and reintegrating this fragmented, lost light. Continuing on, their downfall is nearly complete. We are on the ascending timeline. And so I asked about the timeline, and they said pocket realities, and then they said labyrinth. Like it's kind of like a whole labyrinth of all of these different pocket realities, and because the timelines have been messed with so much. But we are on the ascending timeline. They also mentioned the chronovisor. I didn't know what that was. What's this? And they said, see into alternate realities, predictive, like a looking glass technology, merging realities, density. So these timelines and realities are merging. And that's why we may be experiencing all of these crazy symptoms and even memories and things like that. And so I looked up the chronovisor, and apparently the Vatican has it. And I have been seeing the Vatican visions of them. So there's some big disclosure and big things going on with that behind the scenes. I'll have to look into that more. But apparently there's even like a photograph of Jesus that was taken with this chronovisor device, which allows you to see into alternate realities, they said, or predict things, and even like see into the past. Like it was used to see into the past with Yeshua or Jesus, and take this picture. So you can look that up, chronovisor. So I thought that was interesting that they mentioned that to me. Okay, and a few days ago, I abruptly woke up, and as I was waking up, I heard a woman saying, in fact, it's happening right now. Like she was going through and she was going through like a checklist. And I felt like discernment being a vital lesson, key to have. And then I was like more awake, and I saw this male Pleiadian emissary, and I was in this oversight committee. I had just woken up from this oversight committee, being involved in this oversight committee. It was Pleiadian, with the Federation. And they said, timeline is locked in. Timeline is locked in. Crossover. Discernment. And I saw reptilians. This oversight committee was discussing, it was a rescue committee for those who have been taken over. Deceptive. Now, that's really interesting. So some of these people and even like channels, figures who have been infiltrated by negative forces or negative technology and kind of taken over through like parasites, nanobots, three-letter agencies, negative reptilians, whatever. So this was a whole committee, a rescue committee uh, to help bring them back, basically. Yeah. Okay, let's see what's next. So on 12/9 at 1 a.m., I saw darkness, a lot of darkness going on. Like shadow beings, and then I was feeling like major pressure on my crown, just really dark, like the inverted energies. And then I saw Leah, who is my contact from Telos, and I asked, what's going on? She replied, major battles on a galactic cosmic scale. Collective unconscious, she says, coming to light. Major bleed through, as above, so below. Satellites, rings of Saturn, battle, battle begins. So this is happening on Earth, but it's also happening on a grand cosmic scale, like it's happening in space. In the collective unconscious. So these solar energies, these activation codes, it's collectively bringing all of the shadows deep within you to the light, to be looked at, to be healed. That's happening on a very, very massive scale. And she was saying major bleed through also. Bleed through of these other realities and dimensions and in timelines even. And I was seeing like a battle taking place out in the rings of Saturn by like higher dimensional beings, which the rings of Saturn would be like this control mechanism, this dark agenda and dark technology. She said massive ripple effect, quantum leap. And then I sensed the Ashtar Galactic Command, quantum revolution. They mentioned the Monroe Institute to me, which they have hemisync. They've been really recommending me to do these meditations, these hemisync meditations, which help bridge your left and right side of your brain and can help you access information and can help you really do whatever you want. So I highly encourage you to look into that. And solar flare, quantum revolution. Okay, and I don't normally get messages about solar flares, but they've been bringing this up a lot over the last week. So we have a lot of intense solar energy coming in that's going to really upgrade us and really expose a lot. Quantum revolution, ushering in this new age, this ascension, these solar energies. Okay. I said, what do you mean by quantum revolution? Heightened levels and awareness. And then I sensed a financial system and shift. Allies, solar energy, solar flares, masks off, seeing through. So again, as we are blasted with light and the frequency is rising, these lower dimensional energies cannot handle it. They cannot be here, and they start getting sloppy, or they start showing their true colors before they just can no longer be here, period. Allied forces, I saw Putin, Trump, Musk, Justice League. Teddy Roosevelt, I saw him, classified documents. His hand was forced by the Draco reptilians. He passed something, and I saw him writing a bill, legislature. And then I saw the Vatican, Draco rule. So this isn't the first time that they've mentioned Teddy Roosevelt to me. Him passing some sort of a bill, something in legislature where his hand was forced. And then I saw the Vatican. So I'm wondering if it was, well, it sounds like it was connected to the Vatican. I forgot about that. I'm going to have to look into that more. Okay, continuing on, falsified documents. Who did? Government about what? Trump, Mar-a-Lago. January, the storm is upon us, coming. Solar ray, big things coming. Good, good, big things coming. I ask about the timeline. Change one thing, many things change, and I see a ripple effect. Smoke and mirrors. I see Biden and the corrupt negative. So be mindful of their tactics, smoke and mirrors. They've got smoke and mirrors, we've got smoking gun. Evidence, we've got it. And then I was seeing like classified documents. False flag event, major. They're going to try and pull it before Trump is in. Smoke and mirrors. What kind of false flag? Alien invasion. I see the people pointing their fingers back at the government, at the negative government, rising up. Congress, members of Congress, stage event, false flag, Pelosi. Then I saw Abraham Lincoln, time travel device. He was put in place to help bring down the cabal to abolish slavery. So time travel has been in like time travelers have been impacting our history, our reality. You know, they can go back in any point in time. So it kind of makes it's kind of become like a big mess maybe. But you know, it's getting cleaned up. Then I saw Melania Trump. She is informant For the Galactic Federation of Worlds, regular meetings take place. Timelines merging. And then so I asked, please explain this, show me. They said it changes everything. Timelines, I saw timelines overlapping like this, almost like pieces of paper stacked on top of each other. See all these timelines on top of each other like a stack. And the biggest and strongest timeline, or the dilating timeline, which they've been using that word, dilation, swallows up the others. Some just pop like a bubble and poof are gone. Others are eaten up and become one. Merging, timeline merging. May sense, feel rippled changes from timelines that are eaten up by this dilating the main timeline. Leave some things changed, new additions to the main timeline, but overall, Golden One is manifest. So this reminds me of like the mandala effects. Some things like it kind of leaves like little artifacts or different things, subtle things change. There's like a ripple, a butterfly effect as well as these other timelines are swallowed up into our main ascending golden timeline. On top of that, via quantum entanglement, we affect other realities as we affect ours and other densities. We are affecting other densities, improving all around. As we are ascending, we are affecting everything else. Okay, our reality is affecting everything else. Quantum entanglement. It's all connected. So, and I've been hearing that for a while, that what happens here on Earth will literally affect the rest of the universe. And it's helping raise the rest of the universe up, and through densities, raising the frequency. And let's see, almost done. Let me see if there was anything else. Okay, so one of the last things I see is I saw Mickey Mouse. This was just a couple nights ago, night before last. I saw a Mickey Mouse Disney underground base beneath Disney. And then I saw Mickey and pizza parties underground, which has to do with the child trafficking, Pizzagate. And then I saw time runners, shadow government. They're going to catch them. And then I got that they will be betrayed by one of their own. Mickey Mouse Club. They said Mickey Mouse Club. Whistleblowers coming forward. Will be coming forward, blowing the whistle on Disney and what's going on with this whole child trafficking and the pizza parties and all of that. And that's basically all I got. So tons of stuff incoming. Essentially, to kind of wrap that up with the UFO thing that's going on. So we've got a combination of staged, fake, and they can use this holographic technology to make things look real, to make things look 3D, but it's not. Okay, so you really have to learn discernment, and we have to feel that out. And the Alliance was really talking about this false flag event, and they're kind of like testing the waters by all of these UFO sightings happening, or all these drone sightings and all of that. They're really kind of testing the waters, and they may try to pull this like fake alien invasion type event. But then there's also a lot of real, authentic UFO sightings occurring. And again, lots more disclosures happening with the pharmaceutical company and Justice League in the Justice Department. The masks coming off, truth being revealed, timelines merging. You may be experiencing bleed through symptoms and all of that. Really, it's super important to come back into your heart space, ground and center. They said meditate, rejuvenate yourselves, take care of yourselves, do detoxes, cleanses, and then also the incoming solar energies are going to create a quantum revolution. And then financial shifts, very, very close. Do not feed into any fear. This is 5D chess. Don't feed into the smoke and mirrors that the dark elites or cabal may be trying to pull, and just expect that they may pull some stuff like that. Do not feed into the fear. Stay grounded, stay in your heart center. And that's all I got for you guys this week. And let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, I think that's about it. Please like this video, drop a comment, let me know what you guys think, share your thoughts. How are you guys feeling this week? And I will see you next time, Star Brothers and Sisters.